Yeah, I got to do this. YouTube, start streaming, hit OK. See the fact that it should be streaming, and for some reason, this is really, this is really enough to give me an absolute tumor. This video thing. I'm seriously after this Thursday. I'm thinking just going to nuke and pave this computer and try to start from scratch, see if I see better results.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I got a computer over in the corner here. I got my in-laws' iMac. I got a nuke and pave.
Oy vey. Okay, episode 63. Let me. Ready.
Hello and welcome, Mini PC enthusiasts, to episode 63 of the Mini PC Show. Big Talk, Small Computers. Door, how you doing?
I'm gonna say good, just because I'm afraid of any further questions. Crazy, mildly, upsettingly crazy.
Uh-oh.
It's just,
Well, you haven't told me privately, so I don't know.
well, no, it's just I've had to spend a lot of time in what I believe is actually Java. It is technically Windows version of JavaScript, aka
J++?
ASP. No, ASP pages. And I've had to
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of work in ASP pages in 2017 in the last week.
Ouch, man.
Well, it could be worse. I could be forced to do .NET. Oh, wait, that's right. I refuse to learn
Did
that.
you say Alpha Sierra Papa pages, not JSP?
Yes,
As in,
classic ASP pages. And the bright side, it still works in Server 2016. To me, the other good side, no matter what browser they use, it's not going to break because it's a server side scripting language.
right, right. And the first web app I ever wrote, everything, there was no JavaScript, everything was server side, and this was still kind of the Wild West. We're talking pre-2000, so you didn't want to trust that everybody's JavaScript was going to run the same. So I did. It was all straight HTML. There was nothing going on the client side. Now with all the JavaScript libraries, between jQuery and like Bootstrap for CSS, which is really server side, but there's so many things going on the client side. It's nuts.
Yeah, and I can understand that there are certain libraries out there, certain frameworks out there that can simplify some of the cross device issues, but the
Mm-hmm.
bottom line is no. They're not going to fix them all because it's impossible. There's too many devices out there. I saw a picture of a guy who said, "Oh, you want to do a website? Here's some things that you should test it on." And it was literally like 5 different tablets, 15 different phones, 3 different laptops, and it's like, just ridiculous. And then you get into the different browsers on each of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I try that. Like, I have responsive design, and maybe it's not so good on flyingrich.com, and it's okay. It's it instead of having the 3 columns with, I think left column is video, middle column is Google Plus, and right column is Twitter. It kind of stacks them vertically on your
Right.
phone, and I'm like, all right, this kind of looks like crap, but
Oh, I'm a firm believer in in per Rudo's rule, which is 80 20. If
hmm
you shoot for 100% whenever you're trying to do something right out of the gate, you will unquestionably fail. In best case scenario, shoot to solve 80% of the issues, to get 80% of the stuff up and running, and then when you do, you take the last 20% and then you focus on the 80% of that.
hmm
Because expect perfection is, to me, plan for insanity or failure.
and the negative way of saying that is going halfway to the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all just craziness. Do you have any new mini PC hardware or things going on?
Oh, well, just what I showed you earlier. So here is, let's see, Pi Zero 3D printed case, and the case printed flat like this. So basically, it's a clamshell for those of you that do not have video, and it's all printed as one piece, and then it kind of just snaps. It's got a nice bit of snap detent, and so it holds your Pi Zero. So that's kind of cool. The openings aren't exactly where they should be. I might have to edit the file a little bit, but that's pretty much all the hackery that I have been doing. I can report after like nuking and paving my. I call it M3 because the original machine was a Banana Pi M3. But it's my Plex server, and I'm doing radar and sonar, and I can't remember which is movies and which is TV series, but one is movies, one is TV series, and transmission, and of course, time capsule for the Macs in the house. So it's all running swimmingly. The radar and the sonar work super really well. Better integration, I think, than Sick Rage and Couch Potato. And Sick Rage was series, and Couch Potato was movies. And I'm super happy with how they're working.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. Yeah, I will say if you want to watch the video for this show, two ways to do it. One, you can go to patreon.com/slash the mini PC show. You can become our first Patreon. Patreon people will have access to the live feed. Right now there is no Patreons, so I'm not posting the live feed there because it's kind of pointless. But you will have access to the live feed and have exclusivity access to the live chat room, even though it really felt like I just made that word up. Um,
Exclusive, all access to the
y-
live chat room.
yeah, and I'll actually do my best to actually monitor it and keep track of what's going on. And it is just a great way to support this show directly. Also, if enough people join that and let me know, I will do everything in my power to also have exclusive show merchandise created. So if you want a mini PC show t-shirt, hat, hoodie, keychain, bumper sticker, pin, bow tie,
Mug.
even a friggin' bow tie. Well, mugs are already taken care of. If you just go to the notes of the mini PC show, you can click on Joe Heck's code for sale link and go directly right there and buy a mug. So mugs are already
Hmm.
available. I encourage people to go support those who support you. Joe's a good guy. Help him out. But that is one way to support the show. I will say the Raspberry Pi case. This is the kind of thing. If you do not have a 3D printer yourself and you would like a 3D printed Pi case, all you got to do is contact us. Mini piece. I'll say it right. Mini PC show at podnutz.com. And we have no problem printing it out and sending it to you quicker than I'm sending Rich the Rock 64 board. I'm nearly going to guarantee it.
I forgot all
It
about
is
that.
in a box. I didn't. It is in a box. I've been trying to push my kid to be more entrepreneur like and giving him tasks and rewards and money. And he gotten to the point where he just kind of said to me, huh, I don't think I need money that much right now. Oh,
Yeah. So that's very interesting that you said that. I'll spare part of the story. My daughter had a yeah, her phone got broken. Let's just say her phone got broken, and she said, "You'll buy me a new one." And I said, "No," because it didn't accidentally break. She threw it on the floor,
oh,
and then she said, "Well, it was only $20, right?" I said, "No, it's a $20 early upgrade. That's a $400 phone."
right.
Well, mommy made me mad, so she should buy me a new phone. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I
Good luck with
said,
that one.
I told her I'll pay you $10 an hour, mow the lawn, and do work around the yard. And when I'm talking, it's get on the mower, turn the key.
Right.
She's like, no, I won't do that. She is now working. And then she said, you know, she figured out how long it would take, how many hours, how many weeks to. She's like, well, my birthday's coming up, and people give me money, and I'll buy a phone with that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay. So I hate to admit this. I do not know what minimum wage is in Florida. I'm assuming it's like $7 an hour or so, or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So she's working at the public supermarket. She's 15, and they give her 2 hours in the middle of the day on Saturday and 2 hours in the middle of the day on Sunday. It just ruins her weekend. And she's doing good. She's doing, in fact, let me compliment her. And in case I haven't offended everyone yet, my daughter's adopted. She's from China, and so last year it was real rough getting her to do her homework, getting her to deliver good grades on tests and stuff like that. So she's got B this semester. So I've told her her inner Asian is coming out.
Well, you're a dad. I think you can say that, number one. Number two, kids seem, well, I don't want to say the word that comes to mind for all kids is spoiled. And
Mm,
but I don't want to say that because I know every father before me in the history of time has said the same
I
thing.
said the same thing.
So I can't say that because it's just normal, is what it is.
Well,
Kids have
yeah,
a really hard
my
time
wife cooked
holding
tonight,
back.
and my daughter, I'm like, hey, clean up the plates, and she only took her plate. I'm like, what the heck was that? She's like, well, I don't want to stack them because then sauce gets on the bottom. I'm like, well, then you rinse them off in the sink.
Yeah, my oldest one, I'm having a much better go of it. He's being much more cooperative about that kind of thing. But I mean, he's far from perfect. He's a kid, and it's one of those things. I have to believe at his age, I was just as anal and uh negative back towards parents kind of thing. But grade wise, he's doing spectacular. I mean, he's blown me
Excellent,
away.
excellent. Yeah, and the other thing my daughter said about it is she realized, hey, she's got to get into college, and this stuff matters. So I'm impressed. She's pulling it together.
And to me, that's the real thing. It isn't, good or bad, ups or downs. It's what they do in the end what matters. You know what I mean? Did they pull it out? Do they do the right thing kind of thing?
Yeah, and I know she's a hard worker because she's done volunteer work. She's got to have so many hours of volunteer work to graduate high school, and she's got that all taken care of already. And I know the place she's volunteered at, they've given her rave reviews, and I'm talking about shoveling out horse stalls.
Oy,
So stuff nobody wants to do. She
right.
got good remarks on.
Very cool. We're gonna get into some links here, Rich. And
Okay.
I know, let me rephrase that. I don't. I have an inkling of your past in regards to video games, and you were among the people who, let's just say, devoted maybe too much time to them
Yes.
at least one point in your life. So there is some bias when I bring up this one product. I heard about it on a couple podcasts and a couple things. One of them was called Retro RGB. I will encourage anybody out there, if you have any interest whatsoever in the retro scene, um, the legal aspects of the retro scene, the bleeding edge hardware of the retro um, scene that's going on, or if you want to ask somebody smarter than yourself on how to set up the best possible environment, retro RGB is seems like one of the best places to go. It is retrorgb.com. Really nice guy is what I can tell. Cusses a hell of a lot, but he's a really nice guy. Trying to do the right thing, trying to set up websites to help archive. He thinks of himself and people along his movement in more of the archival process. They want to record this for history. Even if it's against the law, these kinds of things need to be recorded for history. And he brought up this product. And I don't know how I actually feel about it. It's called CD retro gaming system, but it's spelled SEEDI retro gaming system. There's a guy on YouTube who actually did a review and a teardown of this. The company backing this, they only had two prototypes. They sent one to him and they asked him, he asked, "Can I do a teardown?" And they said yes, but please be careful. So he, took it apart, showed everyone the inside. The inside is running an Orange Pi Plus. No if, no ands, no buts, no kind ofs. it's a Orange Pi Plus, connected to what amounts to a laptop drive. They say when the system does launch, they're going to do everything to have the OS itself completely open sourced, downloadable, and you can put on your own hardware. So the reason to buy this is because you are infatuated with the hardware itself, or you just want to support the product. So you'll be able to do this all on your own. But there's certain little things about this system that people are not liking, like the because they want to do the legal route, there's certain binaries, BIOS binaries that they cannot include with the package.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you want to run Intellivision is one of the examples I believe. You have to go yourself, find the Intellivision download BIOS, download it yourself, put it on the device so that it can run. So some people are complaining about that. I don't because that's the law, you know. Um you'll be able to at launch time put in Sega CD games, PlayStation 1 games in the system. It will auto launch into that game and then give you the option also of copying it to the inner device so you can have a backup because you've already proven that you've earned it. I like the idea of this device. I like the fact that they're using hardware that anyone can get. I like the fact that they're offering a polished solution kind of thing. I'm not crazy about the price. It's 125 bucks, but at the same token, for me to put together something this nice, it probably would run me close because I'm not, you know, great at this kind of thing. So I just thought it was interesting people using technically off the shelf hardware, just Orange Pi Plus 2, and they're able to get a full emulation stuff going and running and from the um re re view seemed like they got it going pretty good.
I didn't realize you said Orange Pi plus 2. I had an Orange Pi 0 here. And I'm like, wait a second, those ports don't look right.
It was and the guy that you were talking about offending people, so I'm gonna offend people. The guy who does the actual tear down, his YouTube handle is Metal Jesus Rocks. Um, I'll just put it like this: he's a unique fella who is actually pretty sharp when it comes to retro things. Um, He gives a full breakdown of the device, launches at least like 20, 30 different games on it, sees how it performs. Most of it runs really good. It can even do old 386 emulation as well. And one of the games he has on 386 is the old Star Trek game.
How cool.
I know. And he said the games that worked like that worked perfect as expected. One or
Wow.
two of them didn't work great, but they're still working on the OS. And they are going to also sell an aftermarket 3.25 inch drive dongle. So if you have old 386 floppy based games, you'll be able to plug that in as well. I mean, I don't want to say that's going too far, but that's going a little bit too far.
That's pretty neat. That is kind of neat. And yeah, I'm a, as I say, a recovering gamer. I had a Halo server, a Halo clan, etc. And yeah, I don't want to go near games.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't have time for games. No matter how much I say to myself or think to myself, that looks really cool. I just don't have time for them. I went and bought a Nintendo Switch. I might have been able to actually devote maybe 20 hours total since the end of March in playing
Oh
it.
wow, yeah, because I remember you talking up the Switch when it came out, saying,
Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic system. The games on it that I've played are amazing, I'll say, amazing for what they can do on what, technically speaking, as little hardware as that is. It I am I'm genuinely impressed and shocked at how well some of the stuff plays. They've also marketed it very intelligently, because it has a good combination of retro and more modern things, so they're trying to get the old and the young. Um, the other thing is, and I was right, when I first played Legend of Zelda, I said, "I swear the game was developed in-house for to take advantage of people with ADD. And I wasn't wrong. They said it differently. They said the game is filled with distractions, so purposely, if you're on your way from A to B, there's a million things along the way that can catch your eye, that can take you off on a different path that could take hours to finish before you go back to where you were going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And I find I do the same thing, and let's just say it's some sort of social media or whatever. Like, "Ooh, look, something shiny." And I went there to find like, "Hey, I'm wondering if, these guys have an update on something and they always post here." And 20 minutes later, when I was gonna do the 1-minute check of something, I'm like, "You know what you're supposed to?" I'm like, "I don't remember now." It's like, I walked into this room. What'd I walk in for?
yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I literally am Rich. Days away from going to try to contact a medical professional, see if I can sit down and talk to somebody, see if I can get a genuine diagnosis of if I do have ADD, because I swear I do.
Of course you do. We all do.
Well, I know, but is it severe enough from a professional's eyes where medication can help? Because I can tell you, like doing podcast, I have no problem sitting down, knocking them out. Sitting down
Mhm.
doing work or having to do home related things or helping my kids with the homework. Oh man. Oh, that it is uncommonly difficult.
So I must have the same affliction because what I believe it is procrastination.
Well, you can say
And
procrastination, but I won't even do this stuff.
so what I've been doing like for my YouTube channel is I've been trying to because I've got videos I shot edited. I'm not going to edit. Yeah, I might as well just delete the files because I'm not going to edit them. So I try to do a video a week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do a live broadcast because then there's no editing.
Right. Well, I want to say I might be completely mistaken with this, Rich. Um, I want to say Sox, SOX, is the application where if you do it right, you can literally take your video, run like a script file, use Sox as the main engine, and you can automatically add in the intro, add in the fade, have the fade overlap from the beginning of the video by X seconds, and then X seconds from the end, overlay and push out. I think Socks will also work with video files. I'm not sure. I know it works with audio files. Um, but there is a batchable kind of process if you don't care about having special unique things in the beginning or ending of your videos.
It, it didn't seem to come up. Uh, it might be. It might just be. I see sound effects. Blah blah blah. Socks.
Yeah, it might be SOX. I could be completely mistaken. I'll see if I can find it. Uh, no, Socks, it looks like Sound Exchange, so that's not right. I'll see if I can find it later. Any of the links did any of these catch your eye or you wanted to talk about?
Actually, Flint OS, and the reason Dor and I were just talking a little bit before the show about Chromium on the Pi, and I have been running SLES. That's the SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, if I got that right.
Mhm.
And it's a 64-bit OS for the Raspberry Pi. So the Pi 3 is 64-bit. And I was like, okay, I'm getting a 64-bit OS on it. Haven't touched it. Um, I got to get the package installer, whatever, working correctly. And I know I had some links up on my computer before I rebooted it 3 weeks ago and haven't gotten back to it. So yeah, but the I'm always looking at different OSs and what is the best OS for the Pi, and of course depends on what you're doing with it. So the Flint OS gives you Chromium for your Pi. I don't know if it's 32 or 64.
I'm going to guess it's 32. I don't see it stating otherwise. And it mentions it works on most x86 hardware. So that's why I think that. Well, a couple things that separate this from a lot of other Chrome OS like operating systems. Um, One of their features is fully automated update mechanism. Never, um, never troubles you for that extra 10 minutes waiting time while you are trying to work. What tells me then is they are following the Chrome OS methodology of installing, which is while you're online in the background, it will run a check and it will find if there's an update. If there's an update, it will silently throttle it in the background, download it, and like do what is essentially a pre-install. And then when you reboot the device, the next time you turn the device on, turn the device back on, it actually updates it. But unlike other operating systems, it's not a 10, 15, 20-minute process. It's literally like a 30-second process on the way that because they all they have to do is copy over key files.
Hmm.
Um, which is a big plus. Also, they state if you love Android apps, great. We are building in support to Flint OS for that. That's one of the things that cause certain only a very limited number of Chromebooks to be different from the other ones is because some of them do have that ARM the Android support built in.
So it looks cool, and I haven't run a Chromium OS, and that's different. Is that different from Android, or is that kind of a fork?
Chromium.
Hmm.
Chromium is a open source Chrome.
Okay.
Android is what they're figuring out ways to to basically like shimmy APK support inside of Android inline. So you can have your browser window and right next to it have an Android window and run them
Oh,
simultaneously.
yeah. I want to give this a try, and I'm like, okay, it looks like I have an SD card here. I could pop it in and give it a go.
Yeah, I cannot find out if it's 32 or 64 just because of that. I'm betting it's 32. I've been wrong
Yeah,
before.
if it says Raspberry Pi, if it said Raspberry Pi 3 only, then I would believe it was 64-bit only.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, well, one of the links I wanted to bring up was one of the ones that you actually bookmarked line 550 in the notes. Phoronix .com article shows off this nice piece of hardware. I mean, I'm a sucker for what I call sexy hardware, and this is pretty good looking hardware. It's a AS Rock Z730M-ITX AC mini ITX motherboard with dual NICs, Wi-Fi, triple display for $130.
Well, all right. So, actually, is that display ports?
It
It,
says
it looks
triple
like three.
display.
Looks like three HDMI's. Um, and there's a couple of things. All right. So first off, it's not $135. It says 135 from Newegg. That's a bare board. So this is like a traditional desktop PC. You got to add a CPU, you got to add memory, you got to add storage.
Right,
So your price, and I'm looking at this, and it's pretty killer
right.
for the small footprint. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it, and it has the Wi-Fi on board. So on the back end, I'm looking at six USB 3.0 ports,
Yep.
which and then two external antenna connectors.
Yeah.
It's got I just looking at the top of the board here. It does have two DIMM slots. I forget which memory modules it's got.
Well, really quick, the three video outs, two of them are HDMI, one of them is DisplayPort.
Yeah, two HDMI. That rocks.
Oh yeah.
There's six SATA ports on this. Now I don't know if they have you know, RAID array or, RAID 0, RAID 1, what they have going on it. But Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a board and you don't want a big board, this looks like it. And what socket does it take? It's the Coffee Lake.
Gotcha.
Coffee
See,
Lake LGA 1151.
yeah, I would be interested to see a final grocery list prices for getting this thing all decked out and set up with different options. Um, the RAM it says is DDR4. That's pretty new, is what I'm going to say. The 6 SATA ports, man, that's crazy. Um, and it has a um, PCI Express 3.0 16x slot, and it looks like it has a M.2 SATA port as well. So you
Sweet.
could. There's no reason why you can't have this thing set up to be a pretty sexy machine.
Oh yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if I clicked over to Newegg, could I search wish lists and find it on somebody's wish list and see what they have it, out the door priced as?
gotcha. I don't know. Do not know. Well, they have literally like 9 different versions of this. Low end 134 bucks. Uh, hmm, wow. I'm gonna have to stop looking at this one, Rich. This could be a really, really good long-term computer.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I'm so sick of big things. All right, so here's oh boy. So somebody did a build with this. I'm searching wish lists with the ASRoG Z370M ITX. Here's a $2,100 build, and they have, all right, two terabyte SS. Wait, gaming SSHD. All right, so it's a hybrid drive. So they got a hybrid drive and M. Wait, no, that's not MSATA. So the memory is that MSATA? Yeah, that's MSATA M2. Yep. I don't see the memory listed here. Maybe they're not showing all of the items. So
Well,
$2,100 build.
tack on a couple more dollars.
Yep. Yeah, they got the case. And it's a cube type case, probably what we used to call a media PC case
Right.
type. And it looks like it has some drive bays on it.
Mm, really good looking device.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot about power supplies. Yeah. So you buy that, you got to have a power supply, a case. Yeah, I'm thinking mini PCs where you plug it in the wall and you have an old phone charger that powers it.
Right.
Yeah, so unfortunately that $130 board does end up pricey.
I don't want to say that's okay, but that's kind of what happens.
Well, it actually for me, I'm trying to think what did I get new? Yeah, so the newest Intel-based computer I have is the Up Squared, which I am very happy with. I'm running Ubuntu on it, very happy with it. And my laptop is a MacBook Pro, and that's a 2012. So yeah, I am running some older hardware. I'm still very happy with the MacBook Pro. Normally, if somebody told me they'd have 5-year-old computer, I'm like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, the main laptop right now I'm using, uh, the main computer here I'm using to connect to Rich and shoot my video and record my audio is a 7-year-old Lenovo T40 ThinkPad.
But you hunted that beast.
I purposely hunted it out. I bought it less than a year ago for less than $200, I wanna say, with 16 gigs of RAM in it.
Nice. That's well set up then.
Yeah, I looked for a while and I couldn't find anything cheaper, with the amount of RAM, 'cause I insist on having the RAM. There's 2 links here I wanted to talk about, Rich, and they're the bottom I believe now they're the bottom 2 links. At line, 554 and 555. We more than a couple times talked about the endless computer, mini computers that you could buy. I don't want to say overpriced, but not cheaply priced, where they had built into them what was essentially a all-in-one operating system for like Wikipedia and some basic consumption of media. Um, well, the two pieces of news, the first one is La Novo is going to ship laptops in Mexico with the option of having Endless OS installed on them. So to me, that's a really big deal for a company like this to get the backing of La Novo. These and the best way to put Endless OS is it definitely is a information slash education based distribution. You can do a lot more on it, I'm sure, but it is heavily focused towards education and just learning information with minimum uh connectivity is one of the keys. You can download what I think was a 80 gig, if I'm not mistaken, ISO file where it has a lot of the Wikipedia stuff already loaded on it. And I will say, take this time out to say the people that implicitly state that Wikipedia is not a authentic source that should ever be used, no matter how old you are, you're old. You're incredibly old. You're crusty, you're brittle, you're just you're just angry at the world because it's is a source. It's like anything else. You have to take everything you hear from anywhere with a grain of salt. Always do your own research. It is a tremendous jumping off point in learning any topic in the world. And if you discount that, get the hell off the internet, join Ted Kaczynski and read, books from the 1960s or 50 something, because it is without a doubt the single most important source of information in the world today. Period. Stop talking bad about it. Okay.
Right.
Shut your hole. Give Jimmy some money. Jimmy needs money. Okay. I literally give him $20 a year now just because I do, because I use Wikipedia. I- i-
Hmm.
Is it where I go, highlight a paragraph, and then go and argue with somebody about what I just read? No, because I'm not an idiot.
But Dor, you're not in Wikipedia.
I know that, and that's okay. I don't want to be. The next link was
Oh
Endless
wait.
OS.
We didn't. I want to comment on this. Now they're talking about selling between 79 and 229.
Um, The impression I got was no. The current endless computers
Oh, okay.
sell for as low as $79 up to 229.
Okay, I wasn't reading that right. Okay,
Yeah. They're going to basically put it on the hardware free of charge, is what they're saying.
cool.
Yeah, could be cool, matters if they sell any, but for endless to even get this is a huge monumental step as far as I'm
Hmm.
concerned. The next one can definitely help Endless OS with usage. We have two standards. Surprise! In Linux, we have two competing standards, and neither one is winning right now. One is snap packages, the other one is uh, flat pack. Flat pack is basically a Fedora sponsored way of taking a application and putting it essentially in a container, so it enables for the ease of installation with with less problems with conflicts in configuration or de de dependent software.
Hmm.
They say everyone has so much hard drive space now, this needs to become a thing. Not going to argue with them. Some people say that the way to go is snaps, which seems to be more of the Deb Ubuntu focused system, and then you have Flatpak, which seems to be the more Fedora RPM based system. And Endless OS is going to support Flatpak. What it essentially means is anyone using Endless and goes to install a package that is not explicitly developed for Endless will not be able to tell the difference, and it should install just fine, and it should work just like it was perfectly engineered for that operating system, even though it's a flat pack that's configured for a broad range of operating systems. That's
So,
good.
and let's talk a little bit about the technology because originally we had virtual machines, then we had stuff like Docker, and now we're doing. Is this more Docker like?
Well, I mean, that's one of the dirty secrets. Docker, based off containers, is actually a technology from the 90s. It's just finally became popular. Snap package and Flatpak are actually very much similar to App Image, which is a technology that's been in Linux since at least I want to say 2005. It's just more honed, more groomed. I believe, could be completely mistaken, but I believe it's more well groomed, more polished at the edges. So the logic is you take your program, let's say LibreOffice. You take that application, you put it in a folder, then you take every outside de dependency and you put it in a jail with that folder. Then you basically zip it up. Then you allow for a instant access to the application via one single download, one single install, and it's supposed to just work regardless of what other versions of software you have installed on your computer.
Hmm.
So every download will be monumentally bigger than just installing the applications. The big example is GIMP. On most Linux distributions, especially if you're using a GTK or GNOME desktop, if you go to install GIMP, it's like 2 megs. If you're running a non-GTK based OS or on Windows and you go to download GIMP, it's a 200 meg download because of all the dependencies. And I'm sure a app image or a flat pack or a snap pack of GIMP would be another 200 megs.
Gotcha. I'm betting you can't hear this, but here at the Hughes Compound Southern Command, we are getting some heavy rain,
Well,
and
be safe.
we had heavy rain. I think it was 2 weeks ago, where the road, the dirt road that I live on, was under easy 8 inches of water. But I think that was because they misconfigured one of the flood.
Gotcha, gotcha. I don't have any more links to bring up, Rich. One of them apparently got missaved as example.com. I don't know why. Okay. Did you have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Oh yeah, crack. So apparently, Raspbian is susceptible to crack, and so you need to do an apt-get update upgrade, and that will patch your crack.
Yeah, crack is a cryptographic error in how the WPA2 handshake happens. Long story short, access points are not vulnerable to this, cannot be vulnerable to this unless you're doing a direct access point to access point type connection. The only thing vulnerable is the actual client. Linux already pushed out all the updates. Here's the good part. Lots of websites now are HTTPS. Hypothetically, if your Raspbian device is crack vulnerable, someone has to be physically close enough to intercept, like do a man in the middle. They're not going to see any traffic that is HTTPS encrypted. They're only going to see non in encrypted traffic. So the actual threat of crack is being greatly exaggerated. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
good.
more of a theoretical proof of concept.
Well, and the real danger is this is just the first like big step in breaking WPA2. Now we know it's more inevitable than ever that it will be broke. It's just a matter of time. And there's nothing I can see on the horizon that's taking its place.
Correct.
So, everyone carry around a dongle with a Ethernet jack on it and plug your phones and tablets into that. I'm guessing. I don't know. Rich, I want to thank you for coming out. If people want to check you out, what's the easiest, quickest way to do that?
Flyingrich.com. Yeah, catch up with all my social media.
Very cool, very cool. And you're also on the Linux Link Tech Show over at tilts.org.
Tilts.org. Yeah.
Yeah, tilts.org. You can listen to Alan, Pat, Dan, Peggy, and Joel. All that you want over there. With how many shows is there total now?
Oh my gosh, I think it was 7:30 we recorded tonight.
Yeah, I know it's more than six something. So yeah, 730 shows. If you're ever bored or you find yourself on a long plane trip and you need something to occupy your mind, you can always go do that. And with that, I'll talk to everyone later. It's like 2 hours past your bedtime. What's up? Well, you have slobber literally going down half your face. So kiss me on that side of your face. Are you okay? You feel okay? Give me a hug. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because you should already be asleep, lady. Tomorrow's only half a day. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please go upstairs and try to go to sleep? Do you want me to come up and check on you in a couple? Okay. I love you, buddy. Please step carefully. Crikey. Okay, I'm going to stop the stream.